Hello, heroes and villains. Welcome to Multiverse. Today, we are going to take a look at the Justice League. Someone asked for a Justice League video some time ago, and didn't really get the time to get around to doing it until today. So today is the day of days, so let's get this party started. So let us begin with our friend Superman. We can create a pretty darn good version of our friend Superman in this universe online. Although sadly, in the case of the Superman emblem, the Superman emblem you're seeing right now has been discontinued for some time. It was only available for a limited time, and sadly, if you don't already have the emblem, you won't be able to reproduce that look. For the chest piece, I wish we had a slimline chest piece like that. Oh, our friend Crypto is getting looking for attention. For the chest piece, I wish we had a slimline chest piece without the lines, but sadly, within the context of this universe online, this is pretty much as close to the classic Superman as we can get. Crypto is sad. I won't look at every looks for the character, but I'll look at a couple of looks when we get the chance. So to create the classic Superman look, I'm using the Stalwart Defender chest piece, I'm using the Quicksuit belt, I'm using the New Genesis pants, I'm using the tall classic boots, and I'm using the either the House of L cape or the steel cape. But both are actually the same cape. Poor Crypto. Again, I wish we had a slimline chest piece we could use with a big emblem. Sadly, the closest version we have is the Scuba chest piece. The summer seasonal is coming up soon, so if you want to have the Scuba chest piece, you're going to be able to purchase it from the marketplace pretty soon. Sadly, the emblem on the Scuba chest piece is fairly small, but it is one of the few chest pieces that's sort of slimline and where the hands of the character are not covered. But of course, if you want to have the bigger emblem, you are going to have to use the Stalwart Defender chest piece. And here we have the new 52 Superman. Thanks to the blue metallic material, we get a pretty perfect version of the new 52 Superman. When you look in the comics, the new 52 costume is actually a metallic costume. It's supposed to be like a suit of armor. And the blue metallic material and the red metallic material are perfect to be able to recreate the new 52 Superman. And we do have the official new 52 Superman set of gear in the game. For the chest, the belt, the pants, and the boots, these are the Stalwart Defender style. For the cape, I'm using the House of L 2019 cape. And for the hairstyle, I'm using the Constantine hairstyle, the con job hairstyle. And for the emblem, sadly, I'm using the BVS Superman emblem. Sadly, again, this emblem was available only for a short amount of time. So you can recreate the new 52 Superman if you want to, but you're going to have to use basically another emblem. Either an S emblem, or you're going to have to cheat and maybe use the Superwoman emblem. And since we're looking at Superman, there's quite a few base items you can have for your Superman base, like the Superman cape, the Daily Planet Globe. There's a few Kryptonian items you can still get on the broker, like the door that you see or the console over there, but these will be a bit pricey. But if you're willing to play the broker a bit, you should be able to create a nice Fortress of Solitude for your Superman character. And next we have the Batman. We can create a pretty darn good looking version of Batman in this universe online, as you can see. I love the deep black effect, and we can get this deep black effect nowadays thanks to some new materials that were added to the marketplace. I'll show them to you in just a minute. Originally, I would have used the void material to be able to recreate that effect, but now we have some new materials. So right now I'm using the black royal chroma materials to be able to get some pretty nice deep black with our Batman character. Sadly, if we use a material on the Batman cowl, it does cover the face it does cover the eyes of the cowl. So in order to be able to get some eyes on our cowl, we have to use the bug goggle face piece. Some people suggested some other options like using the full domino mask. Sadly, it just doesn't work. If we put, let's say, the mask black, we should see the eyes in theory, but in practice, the material still covers the full slimline mask. So sadly, it doesn't work. In order to be able to use that look, you pretty much have to use the bug goggle eyes. It's sad, but that's how it is. So obviously you need the Batman cowl. Here I'm using the Batwoman cape. For the chest, I'm using the Stalwart Defender in order to be able to get the biggest Bat emblem I can. Sadly, at this point in time, the Bat emblem I'm using right now is no longer available in the game, but I will show you an option in just a second. Actually, we can see it here. We do have the Batman Rebirth emblem that should be available to everyone. For the belt, I'm using the Batman Beyond belt. For the pants, I'm using the New Genesis pants. The boots is the Stalwart Defender boots. And the gloves, I'm using the Finn Slimline gloves. The aura is the Swarming Bat aura that you can get during the Halloween seasonal. And there's a little bat accessory that you can get, I forget, I think it's with the Gotham starter pack. So if you use all that, you can create a pretty darn good looking version of the Batman. Although I kind of like to recreate the Batman from the 70s. Here in this case, I'm using the reverse slimline chest, I'm using the Batman Beyond gloves, and the tall classic boots. But sadly, as you can see, the emblem is a little smaller, although way back when, the Batman emblem wasn't that big in the late 70s, early 80s. But I kind of wish we could have a slimline chest piece where we could have a bigger emblem. But it's a minor nitpick at this point. And of course, for the cowl, I'm using here the Batman Beyond cowl to be able to get the long bat ears. And sadly, the area around the mouth, we cannot put it skin color. I'm not sure why, because if you look at the model, you could swear that it was made so that the area around the mouth could be skin color, but sadly it is not an option. And some of the other options, as I mentioned, there's sadly the yellow oval Batman emblem is no longer available in the game. It was available only for a limited time. But you can get the Batman Rebirth emblem. At this point, the Batman Rebirth emblem is available on the broker, but sooner or later it will be added to the Booster Gold vendor. And for when it comes to Batman, there is an embarrassment of riches. There is the Dark Spectre suit that you can get in the Watchtower. There's the Daring Vigilante suit that you can get. It comes from Prometheum lot boxes, but you pretty much have to purchase the suit from the broker. There's the Batman Beyond set of gear that you can get. At this point, also from the broker. Although the Batman Beyond set of gear should be on the Booster Gold vendor sooner or later. And there is also the future Batman set of gear that you can get if you want to be able to recreate the Batman. And there's also the BVS Batman emblem that you can use if you already purchased it. Sadly, again, it was only available for a limited amount of time. So if you don't already have the emblem, you can no longer purchase it. And for the little bat belt that I have, it actually comes from the DC Bombshell Harley Quinn style that you can purchase from the marketplace. So you do have quite a few embarrassment of riches to create the Batman, but sadly in some cases, in the case of at least some of the emblems have been discontinued. It's sad, but it happens. But if you cannot use the BVS Batman emblem or the yellow oval Batman emblem, you can still use the Batman Rebirth emblem. I'm probably overdue for a Batman 2020 video. I'll try to make it when I get the chance, or I'll try to make it soon enough. And next we have our friend Wonder Woman. Basically we have a full set of Wonder Woman's style in this universe online. It's the Noble Warrior style. So you can see the Noble Warrior chest piece that she's using right now, the pants. For the boots, I'm cheating a bit. I'm actually using the tall classic boots. And for the headpiece, I'm using the Valiant Warrior headpiece. Although you do have a Noble Warrior headpiece and some Noble Warrior boots if you want to. But I just, this kind of looks more like the classic version of Wonder Woman. So that's what I went with. And I enhanced the look a bit by using some material. In this case, I'm using the Red Royal Chroma 1, Red Royal Chroma 2, and the Blue Royal Chroma 3. Basically the blue to be able to get the blue on the shorts, like the classic costume we used to have. Sadly, I cannot get the stars white, so I'm gonna have to settle with gold stars. So for that piece, I went with the Themyscirian battle suit. Although there's a few other options like the Valiant Warrior, the Noble Warrior, or the Ancient Amazon Noble. Actually, the boots are called the Peaked, but you could go for the Noble Warrior if you want to. And for the belt, I went with the Enhanced Dystopian Amazon belt, because if I don't use a belt, I'll show you what happens. Because of the materials and the way the styles and the colors are separated, It's part of the shorts that are supposed to be like an extension of the chest piece. Sadly, since I'm using two different materials, it doesn't quite match very well. So you can see the white part is supposed to be like the continuation of the chest piece, but it doesn't really work. So I'm using the belt to cover the white part on the shorts that don't really match with the top piece. And the belt kind of works well with the look, so not a big deal. And one thing that works awesome with the material is the shield. Holy crap, do I love how the shield looks, thanks to the material. And of course, for the emblem, I'm using the Wonder Woman, the BVS Wonder Woman emblem, which sadly is no longer available in the game at this point. Maybe at some point in time they will give us another Wonder Woman emblem. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. So overall, we can make a pretty darn good looking Wonder Woman character if we want to. And next we have our friend the Flash. There is an embarrassment of riches to be able to create the Flash, especially with some of the materials that have been released. Again, I'm not going to show it all, I'm just going to show a few examples, but basically for the Flash you need the Flash cowl, you need a slimline chest piece and slimline pair of pants, the tall classic gloves, where the trim classic gloves should do the trick. For the belt, the Speed Force Spectrum belt works well enough, and for the boots, we do have the official Flash boots. I have a video about how to get the Flash boots if you need to know how. Just search my videos, I actually have a handful of videos that actually show that. And for the materials here, I'm using the red metallic material, and I'm using the Phoenix material for the yellow part. And of course, there's the Flash emblem. You can get the Flash emblem either from the broker or from your friend Booster Gold, either in the Watchtower or in the Hall of Doom if you play an evil villain. And for the aura, I'm using the Sparking Aura. Sadly, the only way you can get this aura right now is to buy it on the broker. And at this point, it's pretty rare. And when it is on the broker, it is pretty expensive. Another very good option is to use the Fierce material with the Sinister material. It does give us a really shiny Flash character, but it looks pretty awesome. I have to admit, between this version and the version with the red metallic material, I'm not sure which one I prefer. Actually, even the cosmic material, I'll show it. Let's show it to you right now. I made a version also with the cosmic material and the Phoenix material. And I have to admit, I'm torn. As I mentioned, there's an embarrassment of riches. I don't know if I prefer to use the cosmic material, the red metallic material, or the Furious material. They all look pretty awesome on our Flash character. Although you don't have to use a material, you can recreate a pretty good looking Flash character without any materials at all. Because sadly, the cosmic material is almost impossible to get at this point. It's very rare that you'll see it on the broker, and when you do see it on the broker, it'll be very expensive. The red metallic material is still somewhat affordable on the broker, but you're gonna have to spend a couple of hundred millions at this point in order to be able to get it. And the first material is probably very expensive right now on the broker, assuming that, again, you can actually find it on the broker. But if you want to recreate a Flash, you can recreate a pretty good version and not use any materials at all if you want to. And now let's look at Green Lantern. We'll start with our friend Hal Jordan. Obviously, I'm using the glowing chroma material. As you can see, you can create a pretty darn good looking Green Lantern character with it. I had to cheat a bit and give Hal Jordan a bit of a belt. I'll show you why in just a minute. But with the glowing chroma material, holy crap, these are the perfect, it's the perfect material for your Green Lantern character. And of course, I'm using the green light stream, the green aura, and we even have the helicopter construct as an accessory. For the style, basically I'm using the slimline chest piece, the New Genesis pants, I forget if it's the New Genesis belt or the fourth world belt, the Stalwart Defender boots, the Aeronaut gloves, and of course I'm using the enhanced version of the Green Lantern emblem. And there should be a Green Lantern emblem in the back, but it's too nice not to use. It's the Scion of Ion back piece. So with that, you can create a pretty darn good looking Hal Jordan character. Even without the material, you can still create a pretty darn good looking Hal Jordan character. And here you can see at the waist, that's why I'm using the belt. You can see there's this like well, let's say not so nice line at the waist. That's why I was using the belt to pretty much cover that part. And of course, if you're not using the material, you can create an even better version of our friend Hal Jordan by using the streak slimline chest piece and the tertiary slimline pants. The reason why I'm not using the material with those, sadly the material doesn't quite work with that chest piece. There's no way to be able to get the proper Green Lantern look with that material and with that chest piece. It's sad, but that's how it is. And next we have our friend John Stewart. I'm using pretty much everything the same as Hal Jordan. The exception to that is the chest piece, which is the reverse slimline chest piece, and the reverse slimline pants. Actually, this is even better than Hal Jordan. You can create an even better version of John Stewart than you can of Hal Jordan. Of course, there's a few variations. In some incarnations, the gloves were white and a few things like that. But overall, this is pretty darn close to recreating John Stewart within the context of DC Universe Online. And last but not least, our friend Guy Gardner. Yeah, I know some people cry blasphemy. They'll say that I should have used Kyle Rayner. But personally, I kind of preferred Guy Gardner. At some point in the mid 80s, late 80s, somehow Guy Gardner was a bit more prolific as for being Green Lantern. Like he was the Green Lantern in the Justice League series, or even the Legends miniseries, or even this awesome miniseries called The Weird. If you never saw that miniseries, The Weird, you have to give it a try. It's masterfully drawn by Bernie Wrightson, and I think the writer was Jim Starling. Anyway, that's where I discovered our friend Guy Gardner, and loved the character ever since. Sadly, at some point, they didn't know what to do with him. Once they decided to bring Hal Jordan back, they didn't really know what to do with Guy Gardner, and he kind of disappeared, sadly. Here we have the official Guy Gardner chest piece, which sadly does not support an emblem. It's sad, but that's how it is. So I'm using the Siren of Ion in the back so that we can have a Green Lantern emblem. For the belt, I'm using the Barbarian belt. The pants, it's the Bloodbath pants. And the boots are the biker boots. It's not exactly it, but within the context of DC Universe Online, it's pretty darn close. I made a Guy Gardner video in the past. If you want to see more Guy Gardner styles, just search in my videos for my Guy Gardner video. And next we have our friend Firestorm. We can create a pretty good looking version of Firestorm in DC Universe Online. Although here I'm using the Scorching Chroma material, I thought it would work well enough to recreate our friend Firestorm, and I guess it does. But I'm not sure about that look just yet. For the emblem, I'm using the enhanced version of the Firestorm emblem. The chest piece is the slimline chest piece. The pants are the New Genesis pants. The belt is the retro tech belt. The boots are the tall classic boots, and the gloves are the trim classic gloves. And I'm using one of the Scorching Aura, but this is a modular version of the Scorching Aura that covers only the hands and the head. For the headpiece, I'm using the Dashing Crusader headpiece. I'm always a bit mixed up between the Dashing Crusader and the Defiant Crusader. I guess I'm getting old. Obviously, you don't have to use the material. If you don't have it, not a problem. You can still create a pretty good looking Firestorm character. Ironically, there is a set of our Firestorm gear that I wasn't able to get just yet. I have maybe 2 or 3 pieces of that style. I guess I did not farm the missions often enough to be able to get the drops from those missions. Here you can see the actual Firestorm headpiece. And it's inspired by the Firestorm character from Legends of Tomorrow, or from the Arrowverse I should say, because actually the character started in The Flash. So here we have the actual Firestorm boots and the Firestorm headpiece, but I'm gonna have to farm at some point to be able to get the rest of the style. Oh, and I'm using the Spindrift shoulders for some extra Firestorm emblems on the shoulders. And the aura, that's the nuclear aura. Next we have our friend Dr. Fate. Here I'm using the blue roll chroma material, and I'm using the gold material. It gives us a nice looking enough Dr. Fate. For the headpiece, I'm using the Fate's Fate headpiece. It's more or less the official Dr. Fate headpiece we have right now. And the same for the chest piece. For the gloves, I'm using the Trim Classic gloves, but I'll show another version in just a minute. The belt is the fourth world belt, or New Genesis belt, I forget. The pants are the reversed slimline, the boots are the Egyptian boots, and the cape is the miraculous cape. There's another cape that I'll show you in just a minute, but I kind of like the look of the miraculous cape. I love that cape. I have it on at least a handful of characters. I love it that much. And of course, the accessory is the Ankh accessory that we can get in Justice League Dark. So we can create a pretty cool looking version of our friend Dr. Fate. It's not exactly accurate to the look that the character had in the comics, but it's still close enough that if you were to create that look, people would understand that this is Dr. Fate. And here's another option for our friend Dr. Fate. Here I'm using the blue metallic material, and I'm using the sinister material for the yellow part. The emblem is the Ankh emblem. It's an emblem you can get at character creation. If you don't get it at character creation for some reason, you can purchase it in the vendors, pretty much at the bottom of the watchtower or in the middle of the Hall of Doom. The cape is the official Nabu cape. It's the Nabu's chosen cape. It's a pretty awesome looking cape. The gloves are the official Dr. Fate gloves. The belt is also the official Nabu belt. For the boots, I'm using the Stalwart Defender boots. And the pants, here I'm using the Retrotech pants, but there's any number of slimline pants you could use, especially if you use the material. And of course, I'm using the Spindrift shoulders just to have some extra emblems on our character. And for the accessory, I'm using the gold runic accessory. Around, you can see the runes around the hands. Sadly, the accessory is a bit, let's say, challenging to get. I made a video about it way back when, if you want to look at it. But overall, you can have a pretty good looking Dr. Fate if you want to. Not sure about the belt though, but oh well. Next, we have our friend Aquaman. You can recreate a somewhat good version of Aquaman, pretty much using any slimline chest piece and pants. But you can upgrade the look a bit more if you want to. Here I'm using the enhanced version of the Aquaman emblem. I don't think you can still get it. And the same for the Seafoam Aura, sadly. But I love the Seafoam Aura, so that's why I'm using it. For the gloves, I'm using the slimline, the Finn slimline gloves or something like that. The chest piece, again, any slimline will do the trick. The belt is the official Aquaman belt that you can get as a random drop, or you can just purchase it from the broker. For the pants, you could use any slimline pants, but here I'm using the Aqualad pants, the Son of Manta pants, because it gives us those little thin fins behind the calves of the character. So I kind of like the look it gives. And of course, for the trident, I'm using the drowned back piece, the drowned pirate back piece. So overall, you can have a pretty good looking Aquaman character if you want to. I tried to tweak it a bit with some materials, using the Noble Warrior chest piece, but I wasn't too crazy about it. But in the long run, if you're willing to work at it, you can upgrade your Aquaman character quite a bit. Here you can see I'm using the gold material, I'm using the Golden Age material, and I'm using the green iridescent material. I'm still using the Aquaman emblem, but obviously this chest piece does not support an Aquaman emblem. For the chest piece, I'm using the Mura chest piece, the same with the pants. The boots, the belt, and the gloves are the King of the Seas. You can get those from the Atlantis vendor. The same with the constricting eels that are floating around my character. The back piece, I'm still using the drowned back piece. For the aura, I'm using the bubbled aura. You can get it. I made a video about the bubbled aura if you want to have more information about that. And of course, there is also the bubbled movement style that you can get. I also made a video about the bubbled movement style. So if you're willing to, let's say, put some work into it, you can create this look for your friend Aquaman, but it might take you a while. Just purchasing the constricting eels, the gloves, the belt, and the boots from the Atlantis vendor, that will take quite a while. And the same with the Golden Age material. The gold material you have to purchase from the marketplace. So overall, we can have a pretty good looking version of Aquaman if we want to. And next we have our friend the Atom. We can create a pretty good version of the Atom straight at character creation if we want to. Actually, everything you see here comes from character creation. The headpiece is the half slimline headpiece. The chest is the pyramid chest. The pants, there's a handful of slimline pants you could use. The belt is the retro belt, retro tech belt. The gloves are the trim classic gloves. The boots are the tall classic boots, and that's pretty much it. The aura is the only thing you cannot get at character creation is the electron aura. The aura is the blue electron aura, and the emblem is the atom emblem. There is another atom emblem you can get, but you have to get it from either time capsules or from your friend Booster Gold. There is another version of the atom that you can recreate. At some point, I guess they didn't really know what to do with the atom at that time. They decided to try to reinvent the atom as some sort of a barbarian warlord in the microverse or something like that. And this is pretty darn close to the look that the character had at the time. The headpiece and the pants are the vesture of proselyte style. I'm showing it to you because pretty sure I'm butchering the pronunciation. The boots are the Owlman boots, or the owl suit. The belt is the barbarian belt. The bracers are the Magic's champion bracers. And the back piece is the Themyscirian battle suit. So for a while, the Atom was a sword-wielding barbarian warlord. But when we had the Blackest Night, somehow when the Atom became an Indigo Lantern, I pretty much had the look not unlike the look he had way back when during the Sword of the Atom series. Next, we have our friend Red Tornado. This is pretty much all the adaptive android style. The one exception to that would be the back piece. The back piece is the Ra's al Ghul proper cape. So as you can see, you can create a pretty darn good version of our friend Red Tornado if we want to. And the material is the red chroma material. It works perfectly. It gives a metallic look to the style that if you don't have the material, it looks like plastic almost. The metallic look looks much better with that style, I find. And next is our friend Hawkman. We got a full set of Hawkman gear not too long ago with the Thunderguard DLC. Sadly, the headpiece wasn't quite it, so I replaced the headpiece with the traditional Hawkman headpiece we got some time ago. And the wings, I'm using the wings of Sins because it's the biggest wings we can have, and we can kind of customize the color of those wings. Especially if you want to know how to get the headpiece, just search my videos. I have a video showing you how to get the headpiece. But for the rest of the style, you can just buy it from the broker. It's the enhanced version of the Battlehawk style. Most of the style is the enhanced Battlehawk style. The exception is the headpiece and the back piece. I made a video about the Battlehawk style if you want to look at that. I also have a video about the Wings of Sins and even about the Hawkman helmet if you want more information about those. Next, we have our friend Shazam, who used to be called Captain Marvel. Sadly, that seems to be a thing of the past now. Basically, this is pretty much the enhanced version of the Shazam style that you can get from the Shazam time capsules. The exception to that would be the Power of Zeus eyes. I'm not using the headpiece because, to me, Shazam with a cowl, not really Shazam, but maybe it's just me. And for the aura, it's the, I forget which one that is. For the aura is the white Tesla aura. There's also the white solar aura that will do the trick well enough. You decide which one you prefer. This here is the enhanced version of the style. There's also a regular version of the style. And the short answer, how do you get those? You can get those from the broker or from the Shazam time capsule. You decide. And for the Power of Zeus, for the ice style, I made a video about that specifically. So if you want to know more information, just look at that video. And next we have our friend Captain Atom. I tried to find the material to be able to recreate our friend Captain Atom until I realized that I was being crazy. All I had to do was to use the chrome skin, and this is it. For the gloves and the boots, I'm using the red metallic material and the blue metallic material. The boots are the nuclear boots, the gloves are the aeronaut gloves. The emblem is the Arion emblem. Probably mispronouncing it, but anyway. And the aura is the blue plasmic aura. Sadly, it's an aura that was available, I think it was in some booster bundle way back when. If you don't already have that aura, look on the broker. You might get lucky and find it on the broker, but even then, if you do find it on the broker, it'll probably be like $1 billion. So if you're lucky to see it on the broker and you can afford to buy it, because that's the only way you can get that aura at this point. So overall, it gives us a pretty darn good version of our friend Captain Atom. And next we have our friend Mr. Merkle. This one will be simple enough. You can purchase the full Mr. Merkle set of gear from the vendor on New Genesis. You have to be a hero player. You go to New Genesis, and the vendor on New Genesis will sell you the Mr. Merkle set of gear. It's pretty much that simple. Here we have our friend Blue Beetle. Basically, they gave us the perfect face mask for Blue Beetle, which is the Avatar of Peace eye style. For the headpiece, there's a handful of half slimline mask you can use. But if you do have the Avatar of Peace eyes, it does give us the big goggles that our friend Blue Beetle had. For the emblem, I'm using the turtle emblem, but it works well enough to give the illusion of the scarab emblem that Blue Beetle had. For the chest piece, I'm using the New Genesis chest piece. It's not exactly it, but it's close enough to recreate the illusion of our friend Blue Beetle. The gloves are the Trim Classic gloves, the belt is the Retrotech belt, the pants are the New Genesis pants, the boots are the Tall Classic boots. So as you can see, we can create a pretty darn good version of our friend Blue Beetle. I tried to recreate a version using some of the metallic materials. It didn't really work. Sadly, we need 2 shades of blue and black to be able to recreate Blue Beetle, and I have no materials that can do that just yet. The same with our friend the Atom. We have no material sadly that is red and blue, so I was not able to use a material for the Atom. Maybe at some point in time in the future, I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. And next we have our friend the Question. We do have the fedora hat for the Question. We have the official Question face mask, which is perfect. The coat is the detective coat, which again is perfect for the character. The pants are the business pants, the same with the boots and the gloves. The aura, I'm using the blue flame aura, and it's pretty much awesome with our character. And even the movement style, I'm using the blue smoke screen movement style, and it gives some sort of mist. In the comics, the Question would use some sort of spray that would create a sort of mist when he would put on his mask. And so the blue flame aura and the blue smoke screen movement style kind of help recreate that sort of mist for our friend the Question. I'm just using the accessory just for the fun of it. Obviously, the Question didn't really have that accessory. And last but not least, we have the Martian Manhunter. I stuck with the classic version of the character, which is simple enough to recreate. You just put the skin green, you don't put any hair. Here I'm using the emissive eyes. The chest piece is the battle harness chest piece. The shoulders, the clasp on the cape is the Magic's Champion shoulders. The back piece is the Nabu's Chosen back piece, the Dr. Fate back piece. The belt is the Rhino belt. For the pants, I'm just using the briefs. And the boots are the clean cuffed boots. So once you get all of that, you have a pretty darn good looking Martian Manhunter. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. I have roughly 2,000 videos about this universe online at this point, so if I don't answer your question right away, just search in my videos. Odds are I already made a video that answers your question. And that's going to be pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.